If money is not the motivation, sales is not right for you.
He started in direct sales at the age of 14 and quickly advanced over a decade later.
He has trained over 1.5 million salespeople across all industries around the world.
It has more than 3 million followers on its different social networks.
It has a sales school called World Class Closer Inner Circle.
Show you guys what it is.
The #1 sales trainer in the world, Daniel G.
Daniel G.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Top Closer podcast. Today we're excited to have one of the top sales training in the entire world with millions and millions of followers with an impact. Every time you see that guy, you can feel the energy, am I right?
Yes, sir.
So we're excited from the whole team, myself, and the whole production. We're excited to have Daniel G. Welcome, my brother.
Well, thank you guys, man, for having me. I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you guys so much. I'm excited for this.
How you doing, my brother?
Good, man. You can't be sad here in Miami.
Of course.
Can't.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell this story. The first time my team and Steven reached out to you.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm top closer, brother.
I want to live in Miami. I told my girlfriend with my future wife, I'm gonna live in Miami 18 months. I say it's 18 months I'm gonna be here. Like you said, you were telling me.
In 18 months.
In 18 months I want to be live here.
Yeah.
And when he reached out to you and our entire team, I was in Miami. I was in a Noble hotel in a pool, and he called me right away. We had Daniel G.
Did you stay here?
Well, I was in Miami, but in a Noble hotel.
Yeah.
I was at the pool having an amazing time, amazing weekend with my girlfriend, and he called me and said, "Oh my God, Daniel G. He's gonna be on a podcast."
Yeah.
And I knew you were from here.
That was recently, though.
Yeah, that was like a few weeks ago. I was here like 2 weeks ago. I said like, "Oh my
2 weeks
God,
ago.
my time's so tight. Like, how am I gonna make it happen?" So it's a story like it was crazy. I was in Miami. You live in Miami. Perfect time.
I like it.
So my first question, like, we know you from Instagram. We know
social
we
media.
have followed you for years. We know Daniel G from like the big guy, the sales trainer.
Sure.
Who is Daniel G? But walk me through your background.
By the way, we have the pretty boy in the house. So the pretty boy, daddy boy, baby.
I can tell. That's why he's single, right?
I look better at you, or you look better at me?
Us? We all look good.
Yeah.
It just makes you look better when you come here.
of
But
course.
no, I was born. I started direct sales like very young. I started door-to-door sales at before it was even legal to work. Okay, so I started door-to-door sales at the age of 14 and a half. Okay, so I say 14 and a half because it was the summer when I was 14. So you know you're young when you use half in your age, right? I was in sales before that, but not actually applied to a job. Like I used my brother's social insurance card and health card to apply for this job when I was 14 for a door-to-door sales job. And I only got into it, like I was just like everybody. Everybody was selling CDs and candy and whatever they got themselves into. I just seen a sign when I was young. It said, if you want to make $500 to $1,000 in commission, sign up right here. And I go to the guy and I just ask him, I'm like, dude, what the heck does commissions mean? Does that mean money? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, bro, just sign me up. I would say, whatever it does, just sign me up. I'm like, do I need to have any, skills? And that's why I always promote sales, because I remember the week before that, I just wanted to make money because my parents divorced. So I remember the week before that, I went into KFC to apply just to make money. And they said, no, you're not qualified. You're not old enough. I remember like talking too much in the interview. They said, you have to just slow down. You can't talk too much, blah, blah. Just give me some advice. I'm like, shit, man, KFC won't even accept me. And I told the guy, I'm like, listen, bro, I don't have qualifications. I'm not even 16. He's like, all right, bring your brother's card. This company doesn't exist anyways, by the way, now. But of course. But yeah, that was my first door-to-door sales job at the age of 14 years old. I started knocking on doors, selling a home service a lawn service.
Which was lawn.
It was
right?
a lawn care service. There was multiple different services that you could package up, so you can go for one big upsell, which was like, you know, the lawn, the aeration, the driveway sealing, and the window washing, right? So you can get all three of them in one hit, and I think they added pest after that, right? So that's all I knew since I was 14, sales. You know, I would pitch everybody around my family. They all became my sales role play people. They know the pitches. Even my cousins that are in engineering till today, they still know how to deal with an objection, because that's how on board I would have my family with me. Like my cousins know how to deal with, I don't have the money, I'm not interested, my husband does something like this. Verbatim, they could deal with the objection because they used to role play with me, right? So I started sales when I was 14. Go ahead.
I know you're starting in the lawn business technically, right? What about, because we came from door knocking, and my brothers and I, we love leadership and we love sales. Talk to me about how that mental switch did to you when you started knocking doors and looking towards the future.
Mine was, so at the first weekend.
Because for us it was big.
Do you mean the switch from sales to leadership almost?
Yeah.
So mine was, I'll never forget this. I was good since day one because I had hunger, and you can't teach hunger. Like, you know, I had hunger since day one. It's something that you can't teach. I don't give a shit what somebody says. Is somebody, because hunger just outweighs everything. If somebody's watching this, like, it outweighs your emotions, it outweighs passion. You know, when people are like, you got to be passionate about the product, it's all bullshit. If you're hungry enough, you'll make money. That's it. I wasn't passionate about poking holes in people's grass. I made a shit ton of money. My first weekend, I made $800 Canadian. That's probably $600 US. You know, 15 years ago, that's a lot of money. The switch was this. A year down the road, I'm doing this job full time. By the way, I don't even think I'm in sales at the time. I think I'm literally a landscaper. I'm working for this. I'm not thinking I'm in sales. I don't care. I'm making a lot of commissions. I'm not thinking I'm a sales rep. I'm just working for this company, right? And my manager comes up to me, and he's like, oh, man, you're doing good. He's like, but you can never make more than $1,000 a weekend, and you'll never make as much as Yusuf. And I'm like, well, what do you mean I won't make as much as Yusuf? Yusuf was my manager, right? He dropped me off in the morning. He's like, well, you'll never make as much as him, and you'll never have as much time as him. And he's telling me this concept at 15 years old as a kid. He's like, you know, poor people in life have 24 hours in a day. He's like, wow. Rich people in life have probably about 240 hours in a day. He said, you see the owner of the company? He's like, he probably has 2,400 hours in a day. And I'm like, well, how? And he's like, well, you know, you get 10 people to do the job just as good as you do the job. You have 240 hours, duplicated by 10. He's like, freedom doesn't come from money.
That's right.
And I've been taught you make more money, you have more freedom. But we all know a bunch of millionaires that don't have a lot of freedom, but they have a lot of money because they're still on the hunt for money. Work, get paid, work, get paid, work, get paid. So freedom doesn't equal money. He said people equal money. People equal freedom. So people equal time. Time equals leverage. Leverage equals freedom. He's like, you recruit 10 people from your high school to start knocking on doors. He's like, now you have freedom and time, and you'll make a little bit of money. So he was teaching me this concept of, oh shit, I'm dumb if I just keep door knocking myself. He said, and if you want to be really smart, don't stop the door knocking. Because he's like, that's where people lose. He's like, they become a leader too quick and they want to be fancy too quick. He's like, keep your personal production high. But he's like, just go recruit kids from your high school, bring them here, get 10 other people knocking. So I learned recruiting, leadership, hiring, and training very early on at like 15 and a half. I went to every high school, same sign, want to make $500 to $1,000 in commission, sign up here. And I started training sales at the age of 15. Like what I do now is very natural for me. Training sales, I've never had to like, you know, study. I was training sales objections and presenting at 15 and a half again to sales kids that I was bringing inside of my organization with a whiteboard and a marker, just going crazy every single Saturday and Sunday morning in a warehouse.
So technically he was your first mentor in a way.
You could say that, yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. I mean, I read books and stuff too, like Brian Tracy and Tom Hopkins, Zig Ziglar when I was young. My dad was in sales.
Hey, I have a question. We follow you almost 2 years. What's the value you share using sales?
Sales dream. So at the back of the shirt, it says, buy the dream, sell the dream, live the dream. So I'm a big, you know, proponent that, you know, most people usually ridicule salespeople. Oh, the person selling the dream, the person selling the dream. Mm-hmm. And then one day I just said to myself, I said, yeah, you're right. Of course we're selling the freaking dream. Because like, you know, the school system, when I look at it, they sold us a nightmare almost. And most people, when I was young, making a lot of money, I knew something was off because one day I bought my dream car. I was like 24 years old. I bought a white Lamborghini and everybody in my town, it was like my dream car, and everybody in town would look at me and be like, so what do you do? And I didn't even have a business at the time. I was just leaving sales to open up my business. So all my money came from sales. And I would be like, oh man, I'm in sales. Like I would just say it regularly. I'm in sales. I've been in sales for the last decade at that point. 14 to 24. That's 10 years straight of sales. I took 6 months off in university and then got right back into it. And I would be like, why do these people always look at me weird, like I'm drug dealing or my family's part of the mafia? I'm Sicilian. I'm Sicilian, right? So, they would always be like, oh, his family's probably part of the mafia or something, right?
He come from money.
Yeah, something. And then I would realize, I'm like, the school system, if you're not a doctor, lawyer, engineer, anything outside of that, that person's a scammer or a drug dealer because your brain can't even comprehend making over $250,000 a year. It's not on civics and careers, sales, door knocking, and I'm making more than my teachers at that time when I was like 15 years old. So I always say, for me, why put sales dream, right? At the back when it says buy the dream, sell the dream, live the dream. Amazing. I say every single day you got to buy into your dreams, right? And then you got to sell the dream to somebody else, whatever the dream looks like to them. And it could be so small, like a client, sometimes people can't even see it from a very tangible aspect. If I'm selling solar, there's a dream within the client, and the dream can literally, you don't know what it is, but you got to figure that emotional component out inside of that person, because you're really not selling solar. You're selling deeper than that. You might be selling something that's stress-free. How? Because you keep going down the line. You're not just saving energy. You're saving stress. When you save money, you save stress. When you have a lot less stress, you have more mental freedom inside of your head and, mental space to think that you could do other things inside of your life, maybe just by saving $150. So you might think you're selling solar and energy, but I'm like, really, you might be selling a stress-free life to the individual. So it might be a dream to have this bill paid or whatever the case is. So I say you got to, buy the dream yourself every single day, sell it, and then live it.
And look this, I take a screenshot yesterday.
Yeah, of my shirts.
And you shirt. Buy the dream, sell the dream,
live the dream.
So
yes.
Today we got a gift, a surprise for you, brother. Go ahead, JP. Or Dion, whatever you guys want.
Who's closer? So, wow, my brother.
This is a special gift for you.
Wow.
Why?
Yes.
Because
like cigars.
We know you love cigars, and we love cigars too.
Really?
And from our basically
let me hold it for you.
Yeah.
Wow. So Opus X.
You know,
have you heard that?
Right?
Yeah.
So they're made in Dominican Republic.
Handmade.
Handmade in Dominican Republic. This is one of the best cigars
You can open
in the entire world. So
try to open it. It's a little.
In Spanish, say que lo abra. Let's go, baby.
What do you guys say? Que lo que?
Que lo que.
que lo que.
There you go. Thank you for your time, my brother. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you guys so much. This is amazing. Look at this. You guys can zoom in on this.
Zoom in this, guys.
So
give a cigar to a man, and now you're that man's best friend. I appreciate you guys.
No,
if you want, we can take it off and we can smoke right now. Right now.
Right after
We're in Miami.
Right after the podcast. Right.
No, that's fine.
Let's do it.
No, but it's crazy because one day we were seeing you smoking a cigar, and we were like, oh man, like this guy really likes cigars.
I enjoy cigars. I have a whole collection.
And
I'm adding that too.
Especially in the pandemic, we were smoking cigar literally every single day.
Sometimes multiple times.
Danny is in Thailand, like, yeah. Let's go sell the dream.
Dude,
that was amazing.
I like
Have you
cigars.
tried them?
Maybe I've had a couple of these. I like cigars because, for me, it just takes a while to smoke one. So you just get to think, chill, relax. I used to put on my Instagram yoga, and I'm smoking a cigar. And I put yoga, and people would say, that's not yoga. And I say, yeah, okay, go fucking research the definition of yoga. On Google, it says a state of mind. And I said, I'm right now at a perfect state of mind, in a mental space, while I'm smoking a cigar, right? So this cigars for me is like yoga and meditation.
That's true. And now that we're talking about cigars, actually, the company was created, and the whole podcast was created by smoking cigar, because most of millionaire or successful people, where they smoke cigar, they have a conversation with somebody else.
Correct.
And they make business. So like you said, you relax. And it is really powerful when it comes to cigar.
And there was only 8 boxes at the store that we bought it.
Mm-hmm. You guys got them here, huh?
No, it's in a secret location that we buy our cigars. We cannot disclose that.
It's fine.
But it was not in Miami.
Yeah, but hopefully you enjoy it.
You'll find these, by the way, locally.
No, it was only 8, and 7 of them were already sold. So we kind of got lucky.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so
appreciate
much.
you. Actually, going back to the sales part, what do you think is the difference between the old type of selling and the new type of selling nowadays?
Listen, I think,
I sell by the dream.
Yes.
I love to sell the picture, the long-term goals,
The result.
Exactly, the results. I walk you through like a maze. Okay, this is your solution and stuff like that. So I kind of relate the way you sell also. So what do you think about that?
People now are smarter and more educated than ever, right? And I think, you got to take time with people now, and you got to build, and you have to have more lengthier conversations with people and really understand them a little bit more. Because before, when you used to knock on a door and used to sell an encyclopedia to somebody, it would be like, holy Jesus, this is crazy. Well, now you got Google, and people do their information and research prior to you coming in there. So if you're not so, like, in all 3 aspects, if you're not so knowledgeable about not just your company, but the industry first, company second, sales process third. Like, first you have to know the industry, what's out there. Then you have to know company, because they've already done the research prior to you stepping on the door. They want to, like, more than ever, they're trying to push you away more than ever now, because they're saying, hey, I already know what your 3 competitors do. I already know the pricing before you came in here, and I already had 50 people that door knocked me. Which, by the way, it's still that you're still having a conversation with them. So me as a salesperson still saying, well, I'm still at the door. Those people couldn't do a good job of freaking closing them. So it doesn't matter about an objection. I just think humans are humans. They will always buy off feeling or logic, right? I always, especially if it's like on the lady side, ladies will buy a lot more feeling based than men. Men will always make like a money based black and white decision. A woman will always make that dream feeling decision. Always. The same way women buy is the same way women sell. You guys have, women sales reps on your team too?
We do.
Yeah, it's funny to watch a woman buy, a woman purchase, and then also watch a woman sell too as well. It's very interesting because I train a lot of women. Like, I train millions and millions of women. A lot of our stages are like 70-80% women if I do like, product-based selling. And it's funny, one day, it was 2 weeks ago, I'm opening up a bigger space here. So we had a small little space for my employees here in Miami, Florida. I wanted to expand, so I went out with my realtor to just look at a bigger office. I'm there with my sales assistant. She's a lady. I'm there with 3 of my sales reps, Steve, and the realtor, and one lady, which was my sales assistant. We walk into 3 different places. The first place, it was a little bit smaller. Second place, let's say it was 10,000 square feet. Third place was the exact same space, and it was just one level above, right? And we just go to the next level above in the office, and I'm looking at it. It's the exact same space. My sales assistant, a lady, she stands in the middle of the space, and she's like, do you feel that? And I'm looking with the realtor. I'm like, feel what? She's like, I feel like this is just it. And I'm looking at, and the ladies are laughing here, because I'm looking at the realtor, and I'm just like, what the fuck does she feel, man? And the first word I said to the realtor, I was like, bro, how much more or less is this than the one below? Because obviously she feels something that I can't feel. And he said, because my brain went right to numbers, logic, black and white. She was feeling some shit that I couldn't feel. She stood in the middle and she's like, I feel it. That you see it, like if a lady's purchasing a home, she's like, I feel that this is the right home, right?
Agree.
And you're like,
that's the word they say. I feel.
I feel. And I said, and it's very interesting because also ladies, a big tip here is like, we always know that ladies can smash it inside of sales, right? And I'm a huge advocate for ladies in sales, train a lot of sales ladies. And we know that because ladies have things that us guys don't have. That blessing of feeling, it's a curse and a blessing at the same time, especially for sales. The ladies that smash it in sales, obviously they have intuition, which we don't have. Our mothers have eyes in the back of their head, which we don't have. We're dumb. We're black and white. We're just money. We make money. Yes, keep hunting. That's us, right? Women, empathetic. They seek to understand. They don't seek to reply. They're listening when a customer says something to them instead of just jumping to the next question. They're saying, this person came. What did that They're listening. They're empathetic. But what is it that takes a lady from a sales rep to a fucking closer, top closer? To me, I feel that the lady gives himself permission quicker to sell and make money Some ladies need reasons and feelings to make money, and they're just in that space for a while. They don't feel like doing it. So for an example, it's when a guy gets introduced to an opportunity, and I'm Steve, and I introduce my buddy Dan to a solar opportunity. Bro, you can make a shit ton of money. This is how much we can make. This is how much we make on commissions. This is how we get our leads. Let's go. The guy's like, I can make this much shit. Tomorrow morning, he starts door knocking. Because in his head, he says, the truth is good enough. This is how much I can make. Shit, let's go make money. Black, white, easy. Goes make money. He starts knocking tomorrow morning, right? The lady, oh, wow, okay, that's interesting. Thinks about it for a week, then gets involved in the company. Then when she's inside of the company, she's about to door knock. She's like, maybe I should ask my friends how solar worked for them, right? If it's like a health shake, maybe I shouldn't sell it yet. Maybe I should lose 30 pounds first and then go sell it so I know it's actually right? And then one day they wake up and they're like, okay, I pulled out of my manifestation deck that it told me that now's the right time to go all out and sell. So now I'm going to go out there. And then they go out in the marketplace, the lady, and then she's like, but maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I should just discount it a little bit. And ladies are always going off feelings. And the thing that differentiates a sales lady from a top freaking sales lady and closer, I think it's like this, the top sales ladies in the industry, they just give themselves permission to close and make money and realize that the truth about the product is good enough for them to go fucking smash it. That's what I say. The truth about the history of the product and what the product does, the quicker they give themselves that permission is the quicker that sales lady goes to make money. So sometimes that's hard for guys to understand because we don't understand that. We give ourselves permission right away. Bro, you can go make money, but let's go do it. That's it. A equals B, let's go make money. The ladies, it's a little bit different. She has to feel it. And she has to give herself that permission. And the only way to unlock that is be like, hey, go look at the past results is what happened, right? It may take a while for your results to catch up, but the truth is always good enough inside of sales, right? So that's the separation.
I have a question. You remember your first check?
Yes.
Like 10 years ago? And give me
15,
three tips to be successful and sell. Like tips.
Yeah. I think my first check was, okay, so my first check I always remember was $840 in cash. They didn't give us, they gave us cash towards the end of the night. So I sat down in this chair, they gave us our commissions towards the end of the night, $840. And all I'll remember, the first thing is this, is that that day I remember my friends calling me in the morning, hey, what did you pack for lunch? And I just remember I said, oh, this is why these people will never win. They're thinking about lunch. I'm thinking about making a sale this morning. And like my theory was always right. I said, if you just sell a homeowner, they're going to invite you in their house anyhow. Before, things were easy. Like people weren't scared that you're going to pull out a gun. People were all open-minded. You go walk in people's houses, they would invite you in for lunch. Oh, sweetie, come in for, a glass of water. I would use my age, obviously, I'd always say, hey, I'm saving up for school, blah, blah. So I already knew work ethic. Whatever you lack for in skill, you make up for in work and numbers, right? So my manager always told me, hey, you're shit, but it's okay because you play soccer and you could smile better than anybody else. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to knock on more doors and you're going to smile to everybody because you're garbage. And he said, guess what's going to happen? You're going to listen to me. You're going to read. You're going to study. You're going to get better. Your skills are naturally going to go up. But all you focus on, Daniel, is these chumps can knock on 60 doors in a day. You knock on 300. You jump lawns. He said, because it doesn't even matter how good they are. If their closing ratio is 50%, but they knock on 2 doors, they get 1 deal done. But if your closing ratio is 1%, but you knock on 200 doors, you get 2 deals done. So he said, numbers always beat skills in the beginning. And then the component is you suck in the beginning, so you work your numbers, and then your skill starts to rise. And then as majority of salespeople's skills rise, and you will see this in your company, their numbers go down.
Yep.
So their work ethic goes down when their skill goes up. The point of sales, because you'll hear, if you interview a lot of sales trainers, which you guys have, one sales trainer is going to say, it's a numbers game. The other sales trainer is going to be like, no, it's just a skills game. And then you sit down, because I've been studying sales training since I was 15, and I say, is it fucking numbers? Is it skills? Like, do I have to be the workhorse? Do I have to know my finesse of my language?
True, right?
It's both. It's both.
I agree.
It's work and skills. And the moment your skill goes up, you double down the numbers.
Right.
You don't drop the numbers when the skill goes up. So I think it's a both game. And I always just say, numbers always work out inside of life. I always have a joke where I say, you ever see like a beautiful lady, an ugly guy, and you're like, how did that guy get that lady? That guy just asked a lot more ladies than the good looking guy. Yep. That's it. Like this always works. The guy literally just didn't care, and he just said, "Hey, you're beautiful. Want to go for dinner?" And he said it to 100 ladies, and one lady's like, "No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. Hey, you're beautiful. Want to drink? Hey, you're beautiful. Want to drink? Hey, you're beautiful. Want to drink? No, 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 no. Okay, fine. I'll have a drink. Boom."
And close them.
Same thing with sales, right?
And how do you feel when you see I did it, your first big check?
Well,
And how much was, if you can disclose that?
So my first cash
or one of
was
your biggest checks.
A lot.
my first cash was $850 when I was 15. So that I was already a millionaire in my head. That it was game over in my head. But that right there, like I think that felt better than my bigger check when I was 17, which may have been like 18,000 in a week. You know, and it keeps going up, but that felt better than anything because that day I realized I was lied to in life. I said, "Whoa, I just made more money than my teachers, my mother, and my father doing a week in one day." So that day already for me messed me up inside of my head because I said there's a lie in the messaging because I'm ADD. I say it ESL. ESL basically means English as a second language, and I'm born in Canada. Okay, you guys can see my accent is perfect. Mm-hmm. And they put me in an ESL class. So when I'm 10, 11 years old, I said, "Wow, I'm stupid." Like this is what I convinced myself of because I'm in a class with my friend that's from Jordan in the Middle East and my friend Alejandro that's from Colombia, and I'm Canadian. And they said, "Yo, sit in this class." So I'm like, "Oh, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. My brother's the only guy that's gonna make money." So this is why I think people they think I'm joking when I tell the story. If you go to my friends, they literally call me the dumb kid. You know, I was a dumb kid. I was a class clown. 18 to 14, I was in ESL and after school programs too as well. So this is why I love sales because I say dude, I didn't.
The drive that you have to be better is incredible. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can feel it right now, and that's the reason why you're so successful. And I want to ask you something. What do you think is the toughest industry right now?
The toughest industry
to sell right now.
Or the most competitive industry in the sales.
I mean, I genuinely believe that you guys, what you do, if you were to go sell a vacation in Antarctica, you would become successful. And I truly believe that. Like if somebody gonna say car sales is hard, good, give me a month. I bring success with me. The industry doesn't bring success. So that's always been no matter what I go into, I'm gonna succeed. So I don't even think about the marketplace because some people are gonna be like, well, solar's slow now. Well, car sales is slow now. Well, real estate's slow now. No, you're slow now. Because if it's slow, that gives you every reason to pop out even more, right? And I say I don't think there really is saturated industries. Like you will hear this a lot. Oh, well, real estate saturated. In Dubai, real estate, there's 45,000 agents. Miami, real estate is saturated. You know, it might be saturated to go sell solar in Dallas or California. No, it's not. You want to know why? Go look up, and not every single fucking person has panels on their home. Tell me it's saturated. It's not saturated. I guarantee you we can go on this home right now and there's not panels on it. Is there?
No, I don't think so.
Then it's not saturated. The reason why it's not saturated is because most people suck. So it's not, even if there's 55,000 people inside of an industry, if everybody freaking sucks, it's not saturated. There's so much room for winners at the top, right? So I say it's not saturated because there's very few winners in every single industry. It doesn't matter how many people go inside of the industry. There could be 50,000 competitors and 500,000 people. The truth of the matter is there's only this many people making money because those are the people that choose to get better, work every single day, are actual full-timers. Because there's a difference. Some people are in your guys' organization and other organizations say, oh, I'm a full-timer in door knocking. No. You're a full-timer on paper. You work 50 hours a week or 45 hours a week, but mentally you're a part-timer and you're checked out.
Or maybe less.
Yeah, you're there, you're and I say sales requires full-time, by the way. And if somebody's discouraged because they can only go part-time, I say don't worry about it, but as long as you're full-time here. You have to be in sales full-time because it's a flow game. The moment you take 4 or 5 days off, you get out of flow, somebody knocks on the home that was about to say yes to you, and you took those 4 days off, and then you have to get back in and get back in flow. It's like you stay in momentum and flow inside of sales. That's why the people that usually lose, they go in and then they get out. They go in and then they get out. And they say, how do I get in momentum? And my question is always why did you get out of it? That's you never figure out what gets you in momentum. You figure out who or what took you out of momentum. I try to identify what takes away from success, not because everybody goes to bed dreaming. but somebody or something has taken you out of the game. So you identify the negatives, not the positives. The positives are easy, man. Okay, you drink a coffee, you write out your note. You figure out who took you out or what took you out. You eliminate negative habits. Success is very easy.
That's so true, because now I'm going to go back a little bit about numbers and skill. We thought at the beginning it's a numbers game, right? We had to put the time. We didn't have the skill, blah, blah, blah. And then when we got skill, our numbers we start working a little bit less. Yeah, we got comfortable. And I remember that we were talking, we were driving to one appointment, and we said, we need to go back to basics. Back to basics is doesn't matter how much money you're making. We broke. Let's work like an asshole, like a motherfucker, to be honest. Yeah. Right. And work 70, whatever it takes. And with the skill, that's why we would start making so much money. We grew so fast. Right. And also going back to what you said, my first $10,000 in a month was better than my first 100,000. It felt way better. And my question is, if you starting in sales, what would be how you can create momentum? Because you said, drinking, all that distraction can kill the momentum. But how you can create the momentum the first 30 days in a sales
and stop it too. And stop it too, like you said right now.
And stop it. Yeah, I think the first thing is your environment is 150% important. You know, there's going to be, I think, you know, some people when they get into sales, there's going to be hard days. And misery loves attention. And I guarantee you there's 50% of people inside of the organization that are waiting for you to share, oh man, today was a difficult day. So you get into sales and you think like, do I want support and pittiness, or do I want to solve problems and make money? Because some people want support on a bad day. So they go inside of the organization and they say, oh man, you know, today was difficult. And you know somebody's about to agree with you because misery loves attention, right? So you know it's a very easy outlet to go to rather than being very specific. And I think specific people make money and stay in momentum inside of sales. And specific means this. It's a good leadership lesson for people that are getting into leadership and that lead a team. Specific means this. Instead of going up to a leader and saying it was hard, because anybody could be like, man, it was a hard day. Being specific means you go up to somebody and you say, hey, Steve, man, today was hard because I knocked on 3 doors and this is what these 3 doors said to me and I didn't know how to get past that objection. What would you say differently? So you did something, you ran into something and you want to solve something. Right. There's a difference between a problem and a complaint. A problem indicates that like you've taken action and now you've experienced something. A complaint means you haven't taken action and you're just generalizing and blurbing sales, which majority of people that suck inside of sales just be like, oh, it was hard. Where? My question is always like, bro, where was it hard? Was it hard when they answer the door? Is it hard that they don't answer the door? Because maybe you're a weirdo in the first 2.5 seconds. You figure out the where inside of sales. And those people usually want to make money. You could see just by language who wants to make money inside of an organization. Somebody that says it was hard, it's like, don't let the door hit you on the fucking way out. Somebody that says, hey, I did X, Y, Z, and this is what I'm experiencing. It's a problem. The person wants to make money. So it's very easy to lead people just based on their language in the first 5 minutes. Like, and it's a standard for managers to create saying, hey guys, these are the expectations. Nobody complains inside of the company. Everybody bring us problems. Problems equal money. Problems say, I knocked on 100 doors, 99 didn't answer. Okay, maybe you got an answering problem. You don't have a closing problem, right? So just figuring out where the leak is. So the first thing is, number one, no complaint zone inside of the company. Only problem zones. We love problems. Everybody bring problems because it means that you did something. The environment is super crucial. When I said figure out what takes you out of the game, figure out what you have to say no to always inside of business before what you have to say yes to. It's always what you have to say no to. To me, success is inevitable. Everybody has a successful day, meaning everybody has a $500 day or $1,000 day. It doesn't matter if you sold drugs, if you sold bikinis, if you sold solar. You made money one day. When I ask that question, say I ask an organization, who here has made $500 in one day? Everybody's hands will probably go up. And then I say, okay, who here makes $500 every single day, $15,000 a month? And then like 99% of the hands will go down. I say, but you already figured out 500 a day. Why didn't you just repeat that for 30 days? What inside of your brain that made you think that you can't repeat it for 30 days? That's you don't feel like you can outperform the person you think you become inside of the future. You don't believe that you're worth a $15,000 a month. So what you did is when you made $500, you took the $500 and went to go spend it at Gucci instead of saying, I think I'm worth $15,000. Let me take the $500, shut up, and get back to work. Anybody that doesn't have a $15,000 month and they had a $500 day, or they had, I'll show you how, watch this. Everybody's organization thrives on, 10x your goals or double your goals. It's all bullshit. All that goal setting, when somebody says 10x your goals, it's complete bullshit. This is how you set a goal. If Daniel G's a solar sales rep in your company, and one day I have a $3,000 day, commissions, right? It's $3,000 a day in commissions. And I'm on a 25-day working week. I take Sundays off. I eat pasta with my grandparents on Sundays, but I do 25 days out of the month, right? Sorry, a 25-day working month. And you know I had a $3,000 a day in commissions. Daniel G's new goal is $75,000 for the month. And I don't care what manager says, take your goal and 10x it, double it, triple it. No. Bro, you figured out 3,000. That's your new standard. That's your human potential repeated by 25 working days out of the month. Nothing lower because you already figured it out. Don't pretend that that was rare. Make that the standard.
That's right.
Most people don't make their best days the standard. So for me, and it gets worse and worse. So imagine you have a $150,000 week. Now you're like, shit. Now I got to figure out how to have $600,000 months every single month because I knew I could do that in 1 week. Why would you go anything less? Sales reps already figured out success. Maybe that day they ate well. They followed up a lot of times. They knocked on a lot of doors. They said the right things in the presentation. Make your best day repeated by how many working days out of the month, the standard for you, at least internally. So even if your manager gives you a goal that is less than your standard, I always tell my sales reps, smile at me and say, thank you for the goal, Daniel. Say I gave you a little weak goal, but you know you did $1,000 in a day and your goal should be $25,000 and I give you a $10,000 goal. Just smile at me, say thank you, boss. Don't say bitch goal because I'll fire you. But in your head, you should say bitch goal. In your head, you should be like, I've already figured out 1,000 in 1 day. Why is this person suffocating my potential? Why don't I just repeat this? This is why I always go back to like, what was your best? Just repeat it. Don't go anything underneath it, right? So yeah, you always figure out your best. You figure out what takes you out of the game. And when I was young, I started to realize that when I was telling you guys this story, when somebody comes up to you and you drive a nice car and somebody asks you, what do you do for a living? And you say sales. And then they always think you're lying. I said, why has nobody ever come up to me and said, hey, bro, what don't you do in order to get something like this? Like everybody always asks what you do, and it's basic. I'm in sales. You can make $1 million a year in solar, real estate, insurance, whatever, right? This is anything. If you're the best, you're the best. You can make $1 million a year in sales. To some people, that's crazy, but it's just very normal for top salespeople to know you can make $100,000 a month in sales. And then I said, it's very interesting when I tell them I'm in sales, they look at me like I'm drug dealing, but then nobody realizes what Daniel G did when I was at $30,000 a month. Or $25,000 a month, which is a lot of money, and you're 20 years old, right? Or whatever the case is. They didn't see me. I wasn't going out to the casino and going to clubs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when all the reps that were 40, 50 plus in my B2B sales job, I got into a more advanced sales job as I was younger, like 19, 20. All my reps that were older would go to strip clubs, pop bottles, go to casinos. And Daniel G was 20,000 already at a young age, banking it and studying Brian Tracy and Tom Hopkins on a Friday evening. So it's what I didn't do to become successful. And everybody asks, what did you do to become successful? But it's like, why don't you ever ask, what didn't you do when you were already on your way there? See, many people are on their way there, but there's a vice holding them back. So I said, okay, it's what you don't do to become successful, because you're going to have that $1,000 day. It's what you don't do the next day to become successful.
And let's do this game.
Yeah.
Take your watch out.
Oh, you want? Let's do this game.
Let's do this game.
Take it out. Can you take it out? So for people, I have a question.
We know that you are the best to the best.
So
Okay.
Sell me this watch.
Nice, man. Well, let me ask you a question. Well, first of all, this is a nice gift for me. Do I have to sell it?
If you want to.
If you want.
Oh, okay, because
You can keep it too.
You can keep it.
Let me ask you a
Now,
question.
by the way, I'll give you the watch and give me your card.
We can do the trade. Sell me the watch. Let's see.
Hey, well, first of all, I mean, what is exactly you do for a living?
I'm a business owner.
Got it.
And
Which
I
field?
travel. Solar.
Solar?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're a business owner? What does that mean?
Well, I own a solar company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And how long have you been doing it for?
Almost 3 years.
Nice, man. Whereabouts?
Say it again?
Whereabouts? Like, where are you guys located?
New Jersey, California, and PA.
Nice, man. You guys have a lot of reps?
Yeah, like 100.
Like 100?
Yeah.
Holy shit, man. Well, congrats. That's huge. How much are you guys revenuing every single month? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, the company's worth over 8 figures, so a few millions of dollars a month.
Wow. And do you train the team and everything like that? Do you personally
Yeah.
train the team? You get
Well,
up there,
we
you
train,
train the
but
team?
you know, we have manager, VP of sales that train the team, but we also train sometimes.
I love it,
like
man.
once in a month, yeah.
Good. You think like a lot of the people join your guys' organization to make like a shit ton of money and just, you know, have freedom and live a dream, etc.?
Yeah, we always say, you know, 90 days revolution, which is we're able to change your life in the next 90 days. So it's
90
about
days?
changing life, which is freedom, making money, all that, of course.
Well, I mean, you're a sales leader, right? Why the heck do you think that if you were to come in a nice car or have like a beautiful watch, like a nice Rolex presidential watch that's worth like $50,000, why the heck do you think, you know, that would motivate somebody to be like, hey, if he could do it, and they know your story, you know, growing up from where you said you're growing up 10 minutes ago that we were talking about, why the heck do you think that would actually like motivate them to actually push and do more? Do you think it would do something like by you having nice things? Do you think that would push them to be like, I can have it too as well?
Yeah, I think so. I
Why?
really do. Because they're gonna see success in a watch and a nice car, and they want to they're gonna join us or ask me questions how I did it. So I think that would be a motivation factor for them to come and work more in our company. That's a close right there.
We can keep going. We can keep going on it.
That's a close. Come on.
I wanted to keep going though on it, but what I would keep going, and I would just, you know, what's it worth to you? How many deals do you think you can get them done, and then, you know, close it on an ROI, return on investment.
You know what the beginner does? Oh, this watch is the most beautiful watch. It's a presidential Rolex, things like that. A pro and a leader, we always say stop and start asking questions.
Start selling.
By asking
Start closing.
questions, you will be identify their pain point, what they want, and then you can sell the product. You
Yeah.
know, and that's basically what you did. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I want a Rolex. I want the watch. Can I get it? You know, but that was really good. Appreciate it, bro.
So
I really do.
I think the best thing for salespeople to understand, and I think we just showed it there, because we would all do the same scenario, because we don't understand product, we understand people.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. It's like, you slow it down and let the prospect speed it up. That's the whole point of side of sales. Slow it down and let the prospect speed it up. Because I can grab identifiers from you, which maybe if I had 10 minutes with you selling this watch, like I'm slowly getting into my sale, which gets me freaking excited. You guys may not even know where I was gonna go with it, but my creative brain was gonna start going into watch. I'm gonna show you guys where my brain was going. How much do your sales reps make on a deal? They make $2,000 a month. Man, how many people are inside your organization? You said you had 100 people inside of your organization? Yeah. Well, let's just say the Pareto principle stands true and only 20 of those people work. And 20 of those people are actually motivated by your watch, and they could just sell one extra deal in the month. If all 20 people sell one extra deal, that's already $40,000 in 1 month, because you showed them a story about your watch, right? Do you believe, and then I'm going to start going into the ROI of what one extra deal can do for you, but I would only be able to close you like that based because I know the data before.
Yep.
So I was asking certain questions. We have 30 seconds to sell the watch, but it's like, how many people do you have? Oh, nice. What do you do inside of the organization? What does an average deal size look like for you, et cetera? Right. It's super hard for people to close people because they don't know nothing about the person. So they're like, oh, I'm a shit closer. I'm like, well, closing is very easy if you know how to present. Presenting you suck at if you don't know what you present towards to. You suck at that because the person isn't talking to you. And I say most people don't have a closing problem. They have a conversation problem.
That's true.
They don't know how to. So it's like, oh, I'm bad at closing. Dude, the person saying this inside of the conversation. Ooh, yeah, no way. Okay. You're having a conversation with a dead prospect. So of course it's going to be hard to ask for money. If you have a flowing conversation, which by the way, rapport, the word rapport, I know old sales trainers will be like, rapport is if they talk about dogs, you talk about dogs. Yep. To me, rapport also means the process of engagement, meaning I talk, you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk, you talk. That's rapport. That's what rapport means. It's a process of engagement. It's a ping pong game. It's a table tennis game, right? So most people are out of rapport. They talk. Prospect says, okay. They talk, and then they go in for the close and they're already out of rapport. The goal is to have a conversation. And the difference between now, 2024, than 1980s when our parents used to sell, 1970s when my dad used to sell, is that humans used to have conversations. Like they used to talk to each other. They used to walk on the street naturally, Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. How you doing? Like, my mother would hit me if I don't say hi to somebody on the street. Like, if you walk by somebody at school and she's walking by somebody, a friend of hers on the street, and that friend says hi, and I didn't smile or say hi back, my mom would pinch me. She'd be like, you know how rude that is? You didn't say hi to that person. Now your head's down, you're on a phone.
Yep.
So salespeople have to learn that all sales is conversation. Business is conversation. Sales is conversation. It's not closing, it's conversation. So it's learning how to open people up, not making them feel claustrophobic. Like they feel like they have to buy something. If I'm sitting down with a homeowner, I'm selling solar to them, right? The first 2.5 seconds of my conversation would always say, hey, Jenna, thank you for allowing me in the house. Beautiful home, by the way. Hey, I just, first of all, I just want to let you know, Jenna, that I want to better understand, your home and what your needs are. And if I feel like we can actually support you and do something with you like we did with Barbara and Carl, I'll definitely show you what we did with them to save them a little bit off their bill. And that way, and this is how I don't make the conversation feel like they're going to be closed. I say that way, whenever you are ready to make a transition into solar, whether that's in the next 6 months to a year or 2 years, at least you know what Velaz Solar has in the back of your pocket for the future, so you can make some comparables. So now the homeowner's thinking, oh, I could sit down with Daniel, I could tell him everything, and I don't feel suffocated to make a decision towards the end of the call. Let me talk. So I just need to learn how to get people to talk. I don't need to learn how to close them. Most people can't get their client to talk because the client feels like they have to buy something. So if they feel like they have to buy something, they shut up. Okay, how much is it? How much does it cost? How much is it going to save me? Because they're scared. They're like, all right, he's about to close me. But if you looked at my wording, if somebody literally listened to this podcast, I'm giving a little lesson here. I open the prospect by saying, so whenever you are ready, to transition in the next 6 months to a year, whenever, maybe right now is a busy time, I'm showing you that I don't give a shit and we could talk right now and I don't have to hard close you. The job is to have that conversation to get the data, and then as they start opening up, you have all the data, and then boom, you can close after.
And you use a technique that we use in our company, which is find the need of the customer.
Correct.
Right? By asking questions. Okay, what is your company? What are you doing on a daily basis? Like you say, how many sales reps you have, and then you go into numbers, because why? Now you found what you're gonna attack towards. So that is really good.
I have a question. So I have a question. Now we can see why you are one of the top trainers.
The
top one
more
of the
respect,
top
right, Daniel?
sales training in the industry. But we
I
can
say world
see
though. I say world. Hey guys, there's a lot of people you'll talk to and they'll be like, I'm the top sales trainer. And they say, meet me tomorrow morning in Colombia, Budapest, China, and Bali. And North America's big. There's 300 million people plus.
Why you say you're the number one? Let's start with that.
About that.
Yeah, because I'm going to this. The world's big. There's 8.5 billion people in the world.
Right.
And if somebody looks at the track record, if you follow me every single weekend, Friday to Sundays, last week I'm in Buenos Aires, 5,000 people in Buenos Aires. Yep. Next weekend, this weekend's Tulum retreat. The following weekend, I'm going to be in Budapest, right? In Budapest, there's going to be 9,000 people in Budapest. And I've been doing this for 6 years straight around the world, not just in North America. I got bored of it actually here. I got bored. I literally said to my team, I said, there must be a way to develop bigger relationships and tap into other markets around the world because I'm getting bored here. And I think maybe it was just innate for me. I love culture. So I actually love travel. Like we were talking about this before. I did 9 Europe tours, 11 South America tours. And when I mean South America, like the whole, like Peru, Chile, Dominican Republic, Colombia. Haven't done Venezuela yet. Soon, Venezuela.
Mexico, right?
Mexico, of course. Yeah.
Argentina, too.
Yeah, Argentina, Peru. Yeah, Peru. So to me, that's like my chameleon inside of me where I'm like, I want to learn how to teach these people sales because they don't resonate with this American training. And people don't understand that. The way people operate in Peru and the way somebody operates in Italy is different than the way somebody operates in America. If you go on stage in Italy and say, who wants to become millionaires? They're going to say, what the heck's this guy talking about? So you got to learn how to influence them because that's like frowned upon in Europe. You don't even want to drive a Lamborghini. You want to keep that and maybe drive it like once a month because it doesn't look good if you're in Italy. So there's a different way of communicating and influencing these individuals to follow you and reprogram their mind for success than you would do in America. In America, you could be like, you're a little bitch, bro. Come on, work harder. They'll be like, oh, okay, I want to work harder. Army-like, right? So that's the whole, I like that challenge of going around the world and training people in sales around the world.
And you had a you did a post the other day, which was, that post was 170 flights that you took this year.
Yeah,
so
175
far.
now, yeah.
So now it's crazy. It's been like a week and a half that you post that. Talk to me about that mental, like, thing that you have to do, like, in order for you to take so many flights. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, the top closer, they have to do the things that you said. We gotta do things that the ones that are not closers, they're not doing it. So talk to me about that, about all these flights.
I think, you know,
because we are a little short. We're like around 30 or 40.
Yeah, around there.
I think, you know, when people say gratitude, right? I think you guys probably experience this in your business. For me, I start like it's day one every day, and I'm grateful for my business. And I think gratitude means, like, when you get grateful, you express it through your work. So you work harder. You don't just say, hey, babe, I'm grateful for you. I love you. No, you say, hey, babe, I did X, Y, Z. That's why I'm grateful for you. So you do actions and then you talk. And I think the same thing goes in business. If you're grateful for a mentor, hey, bro, I brought you another 3 deals because I'm grateful for being in this opportunity. So for me, when I get grateful, wow, I'm grateful to be in Argentina. That's amazing. Like, I get that sense, that whiff of gratitude. I say, all right, Daniel, shut your mouth, get on the next plane. Show that you're grateful to God, whatever you believe in, by doing it again. And to me, that's how I have always showed my gratitude inside of my business, by getting on another flight, because it's not easy. Like, some people, oh man, dude, you fly like nothing. Actually, 90% of the time, Steve's been with me for 6 years, right? We've done over 1,000 travels together, at least over 1,000 plane rides together, right?
So how many people have you trained? Sorry to cut you off. How many people?
A few millions.
A couple million probably now, yeah.
Crazy.
A lot of events, like 600-700 plus events now, small and big size events.
And Daniel, give me your top 3. You're the first. Self-advice.
For
Self-advice?
For sales training?
Yeah. You first? Who's the
Like a
second
sales coach. And
Like, who's the top?
No, I take up 1 to 10.
Who's the top? Who's your
No,
top
I take
10?
up 1 to 10.
You take the whole 10?
Yeah, 1 to 10.
Of
So when
course.
somebody hires somebody,
Of course,
and
of
it's really
course.
like this. No, they hire number 11. I say, fuck, you guys hire number 11.
Of course.
Yeah, 1 to 10. Because there's nothing else. There's no catching up. It's 1 to 10. And I think 11 and 12 are 2 individuals that I loved getting trained by when I was young, Brian Tracy and Tom Hopkins. Those were my 2, like, Brian Tracy and Tom Hopkins. I loved the way they used to do seminars. They used to have jokes. They were very funny during seminars, and they had the perfect balance of training. I'll tell you guys, training is just like sales. You have to learn how to make people laugh and engaged, and at the same time get serious. And that's an art. And I used to watch these old timers like Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Tom Hopkins, and I said, wow, they understand it. They get the crowd to love them, and then they also slap the crowd in the face. And if you slap the crowd in the face too much, eventually the crowd's not going to like you. If you get the crowd joking too much, they're going to think you're a comedian. Sales is the perfect balance between, like, leading and liking, So those were 2 individuals that I loved.
And talking about sales, this guy is a master, Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a few questions, me personally.
Yeah.
How you met him, how the connection was made, and talk to me about everything that happened after you spoke with him. Your career, personal.
For Alex, I think it was like, I think he was following me one day, and then one of my guys like, hey, hit up Alex or whatever the case was. So I just voice noted him, and we got on a call. We just got on a call one day. We were just talking about work and business. Hey, what is it you do? Can I support? Can you support? I have an agency. I'm training. And then at this time, he was just opening up a platform called School.
Yeah.
So I was going to transfer some of my trainings to School to test it out. And then I stopped. We had like a 1-hour conversation. I'm like, dude, you know what? I said, you're the very few people inside of the world that I admire right now and that get it. And getting it means, like, he's so good at making things so simple and understandable and digestible. And I said, for me, coming as a trainer, it's hard for me to listen to other people's bullshit. It's very hard because I've heard it all, guys. Like, I just told you guys, I've been studying sales training. How to Win Friends and Influence People was my first book at 14 years old. So my brain has been programmed for success since 14. So I've heard everything in the industry. I've heard all the test closes, the trial closes, the hardcore close. So when Alex speaks, I'm like, dude, it's very refreshing to hear somebody that gets it and is not just from another book that you've heard before. So I said, I really resonate with that because you're creative. And my whole job when I'm training, it's to be creative and say things that nobody said before and different stories, etc. So I think we just resonated on that sales level, you know? And then I was in Vegas one week. I said, hey, bro, I'm going to come to Vegas. Let's do a sales interview for some people. I think they will really like a sales interview, me interviewing you in sales, which would be rare because I don't want to interview nobody in the world inside of sales, right? So I just went out there and I interviewed him in sales. So, yeah.
Alex Hamorzi is big. He's, like you said, he's not like fake. Like
he's the best.
Yeah, he's
the
simple.
best.
And we always say, like, make sales simple.
Simple, yeah.
You know, don't make it too hard. So I have a question. We all can agree, right? The world have changed. Social media have changed. We see meme the business owner now to how to be a content creator, right? Walk me through the importance of having a personal brand this time right now.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's big because people buy into people. So, you know, by having a personal brand, it helps you build rapport with people before they even join you, and it helps them understand you. Like before you walk in a door, your brand walks in the door, right? So to me, I always said, if your branding and marketing is shit, then sales becomes harder. If your branding and marketing is good, sales becomes easier. So the better you are at marketing and branding, the less I have to sell. So let's just say me, I'm a sales trainer. There's a lot of great sales trainers, but they're not good marketers and branders, and people don't know about them. So then they got to convince themselves how good they are. And then there's other people that say, I don't like convincing people. I don't like selling people. I don't want to sit on a phone call with somebody. I don't want to sit on a phone call with somebody for an hour. If somebody says, Daniel, I want to hire you, here, let's go do it. I'm not going to tell you, oh, this is what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. Here's the invoice, let's play. So I said, that's what marketing and branding does. The better marketing and branding does, the less you have to talk and sell. So it might be a little bit harder in the beginning. That's companies and people with shitty branding have to convince and sell more, right? So I think it's everything in today's day and age. Like everybody judges first and replies second. So they check two things always, like Google, right? So the backlink to Google is YouTube, right? That's the strongest backlink. So now everybody has to start thinking about that because 3 years, by the way, it changes. Marketing and branding changed 3 years ago to today. 2 to 3 years, in the last 2 to 3 years, from 2020 to 2023 to 24, right now in the last 3 to 4 years, it's short. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube short, and our brain got very programmed to it. And then now you start to see like, okay, everybody's doing it short. Everybody's doing it. If you're a camera guy, if you sell grass, you're doing shorts, right? So now people are going to say, okay, let me validate this influencer or this brander or marketer. So let me go to Google. Google's backlink is YouTube. So now the new strategy, which we're talking about this week in Mexico, is how to create a lot more long form content to build trust, because they're going to do 2 steps of judging now. Judgment number 1, Instagram and TikTok. Then judgment number 2, Google, and Google is YouTube. Yep. So they'll go through that second process. So public relations is good. Your media online, your articles, etc. And then after YouTube, long form content is great. Like if you're a business owner, long form content is amazing because it helps people trust you a lot more. The real people will watch all of it.
And I have a question. We're almost done this year.
I'm just starting. Oh,
we're just starting off. Come on, baby.
Okay.
So tell me about 2025. Your events. What next for you, brother?
I think it's just doing more of what we did this year that worked and just getting better at it, right? So, next year we have our book launch coming towards the end of the year. So I'll do a big book tour for a book launch. We have a TV series coming up that I've been recording and producing to inspire people to get into sales, etc. It's never been done. Sales has always been a quiet thing. And I think some people are like old. So I said, let's do something new and fun and inspire young entrepreneurs and young salespeople to get into sales, right? So we were just finishing a deal with a TV show doing that. Just doing more and better and creating deeper relationships. My whole goal is always just to create the relationships with people. It's kind of like what we're doing right now. It's a podcast, but like I've initialized and you guys initialized the relationship with me. So I'm always in that yes phase. Steve's like, hey, let's do this. Bro, let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it. Yes. I don't have to, but it's going to be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Hey, what means more to me is 30 years and not 30,000. Like 30 years being with you guys and not 30,000.
Yep.
Right.
Because if anybody's smart inside of sales, 30 years of being with badasses like your guys' self that will always grow, it's 3 million. right?
Yep.
You-
So
you-
true.
that's how a relationship starts, because it's always lifetime value of a customer and not transactional value. And you start understanding that as a business owner. Hey, I don't need to make money off this person. I need to make a relationship off this person, because that's who wins in today's day and age. Me, people see me doing events in my head. I always say, like, guys, I've done like 600 paid events. No, sorry, 600 events. 350 to 400 were paid. The first 200 were basically free, right? And still to today, I will still do a lot of free events. And I promise to everybody around me on my team, they'll always ask, dude, why are you doing that event? They only paid you $6,000 and it's costing us $8,000 to travel. Because if you put me in business and then 2 other guys filming, it's $10,000, right? It doesn't make sense. I said, to me, I see the fruit of the seed. I see the seed that develops into a fruit. I see it in my mind. And that's why I am where I am today. I said 99.9% of sales trainers would be like, we're not going to Colombia and losing money. Exactly. But now we can go to Colombia and have a relationship with this company, and they have 50,000 reps, and that's how I built it. So I'm always just seed first. Like, you know, people try to force success and they try to pull the seed out until it's like, hey, water it, plant it, seed it, grow it, and then it's a beautiful fruit, right? And then you can eat the fruit after. So that's how I always thought about it. It's relationships.
And then you jump, you're rich, you're comfortable, you look good, pretty boy. So
Not comfortable.
about your lifestyle daily.
Because we see your lifestyle in the gram. You know, we see you have the Rolls Royce,
Nice car, Miami
cars,
shirt.
watches. But what is behind the social media?
I'm actually like the most chill person. Like the car is because it breaks a mold from people. I'm not a car guy. Like, you know, I don't even know what's inside of cars. If somebody asks me what's inside of my Rolls Royce, I promise I have no clue what's inside the engine. I don't know. That was the first Lamborghini I bought. Somebody's like, oh, that's the coolest thing in the world. I'm like, no, it's just to help me recruit more people. And it just looks cool. Like, of course, all your nice things in life are just a byproduct of money. Yep. You can just afford it. It's like, you're not thinking, I could just get it. And that might break the mold off somebody to show them, oh, we're doing well, and then offer value on the back end, right? But I like, we just talked about it, like, probably off script on the podcast. I said, like, you know, I go eat at food trucks. I run every single day. I enjoy playing sports. I play squash, soccer, all behind the scenes. I'm a very relaxed, chilled guy, smoke cigars. And I like to be around just a good group of close friends inside of my life. It's very interesting when you talk and meet so many people. Like, my whole life is people, tens of thousands of people every month. You kind of just want to be silent always, just with like good close friends. You don't want to go out and see hundreds of new people or network. That like almost gives you anxiety to do that, because then you have to have time for yourself. So it's the reason why I like smoking cigars, you know, or like going for runs, because it's my self time, you know. So this is the longest I've ever been in the country, has been exactly 9 days. At home. It's been the longest I've ever been at home, for 9 days, and it felt good.
That's crazy. So you've been. this makes me laugh. You've been in the United States for 9 days.
9 days, the longest I've ever been.
Crazy.
In the last 4 years.
Oh, okay. Wow.
No, but like, I mean, in one period of time.
Exactly.
9 days.
Okay,
Yeah.
In your house, in your home.
The borders guys laugh when I enter. They like know me by name in the Miami airport. The guy, when I come in, he's like, you gonna stay here longer than a week? Because he'll see me the next day fly out. He's like, dude, who books these for you? Right? I was just like, oh, we gotta run. But I laughed at him like last week. I'm like, I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks.
Are you gonna buy a private jet?
That 150%, yeah. Whenever it's right for me to make the investment. But yeah, for sure. That will be completely out of efficiency, you know, because
you would save so much time, right?
It would save a lot of time for especially for shorter travels in America. It would definitely save a lot of time. It's been a dream of mine since I was, you know, young. And to fly with 10 people, you're already paying a lot of money, right? So you're constantly trying to cut that. And then I said, well, if you're already flying with 10 people, it's $20,000-$30,000 sometimes, right? If it's around the world. So it just makes sense. I understand why people buy private jets. It makes a lot of sense. To some people, I don't think it makes sense, but.
I agree.
But let's talk about your dream. You know, you said one of your dreams is buying a jet, right? Tell me, like, who's going to be Daniel G in the next 5-10 years? What's your big vision?
Yeah, you know, I think first it's business, because all we think first is business, right? Because we're always business focused first. So to me, it's, you know, I always dreamed of having this compound, and the compound means like I do events. So I wanted my arena of like 5,000 people, kind of like a little soccer stadium, to be on one side of the compound. I want my whole family to live with me in Florida, and on the other side of the compound, have the whole street for them, and then the work office on another side of the compound, and then a huge fitness and sports complex all around it, right? So I want to build that out in the next 24 months to maybe 3 years. So everything is all centralized, like, my track, my soccer fields, tennis, basketball, everything, squash. I play a sport. It's a weird sport called squash. So it's an indoor sport. It's like tennis against the wall. Just to have everybody around me, my close employees, and then my family from Canada. Everybody always says, but we like where we live. You don't know what you want until you see it, right? So your brain doesn't know what it wants until it's like somebody probably watches this like, oh, you don't need a private jet. Well, then go fly private, and you'll like flying private.
Yeah.
You'll always judge until your brain experiences something. Like, it's very hard to have faith in something and not judge something until you touch it and feel it, right? Like, I may have judged a nice car, and then you drive and you're like, fuck, I don't want to drive this car anymore, right? So you always judge before you taste. So my job is always to bring people around me that have necessarily nothing to do with my money and income, but still allow them to be part of my life. That's super important for me. I don't believe you have to cut off people inside of life because, I don't know, you're this big shit and you made a couple $1 million a year or whatever. I like being with, family back in Canada, but I hate Canada, so I want to bring them up here. It's too cold.
And for the viewers, that's actually true. The reason why, because us working, like, we text you, be like, yeah, I'm gonna be tomorrow in this place, and then we text you again, then you reply, and it's so weird for someone that's so busy like you to reply all the time, right,
Yeah,
Steven?
right.
Like, I remember we were having lunch, and you were literally like replying like nothing happened. So
Yeah.
And there's people that have 50,000 followers. They're a little trainer or on a leadership position. They don't even reply. That's crazy.
Well, because that's what we were talking about before, was like, you don't lose what got you to where you got to. That's why I never stop. I never and like that whole thing about building relationships and stuff like that, to me, it's like, that's important because that's what got you to where you are today. So I don't stop being, it's not like humble, it's just being a human. Just
Correct.
Really being a human. I the first thing I said to myself, guys, was like, when I make money, I still want to be that fun guy that everybody knows Daniel for. I still want to be the class clown with some people. I still want to go into Starbucks and make people laugh and make people smile, regardless of how much is in my bank account. I still want to say to somebody in the elevator, how's your day going? I don't want to be that old grumpy person with money. I think that's the ultimate failure inside of life. That's the biggest failure, is losing your personality when you make money. And I've seen so many people do that. They made money change them almost, right? So that was always my goal, is to still be fun and still do the things that keep you happy aside from money. Like, still play, if sports make you happy or whatever the case is, still do that, because that's your true happiness without money. So never forget about those things, because the ultimate failure is making the money and losing your happiness. That would suck. Like, I always tell people, I'm like, wow, dude, how this is my always thought. I'm like, okay, your happiest times are when you're a kid, like 6 to 15. You're the most happiest. You don't give a fuck about nothing, right? And then you get older. How does it make sense to get more stressful when you're a lot more wise? And when you're young, you're so happy. I said, that is a big failure, to get smarter and be less happier. To me, that's always something I always constantly try to think of. Like, hey, what brings you peace? I'm watching this interview 2 nights ago. It's a Nicky Jam interview, and he's very smart. If people want to watch like a good interview to watch, go watch Nicky Jam and whatever. You just type in Nicky Jam interview with
podcast, right?
Jay Shetty. That's it. Yeah, it was a good interview because it's interesting to see, like, from another perspective, from an artist's perspective, to, oh wow, you can have everything, and on the outside it looks like you have everything, but inside you can still be empty, right? And you start thinking about these things. That's why I tell people right now, on your way to money, don't lose the things on the way to money. Like, do whatever you got to do. Run, be with family, etc. Have
because
faith.
Definitely when you have money, the real you comes to life.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
if you're a nice person, you're gonna become nicer. If you're like a little dumbass, you're gonna be even dumber. If you're gonna have an ego, the ego is gonna be even higher. So that is true, and hopefully, I'm thinking about that cigar.
Yeah,
that cigar. I was looking up, over there, and hopefully, I know you got 8 over there. If I'm
we're
not
gonna cut them and
mistaken,
smoke them.
So hopefully today,
we got some more.
Today, if not, when we come back, I would love to smoke a cigar with
100%.
you.
Yeah.
Who got it?
Yeah, no, not every day, man. Come on,
saw you
man.
in
Not every
live.
day, once, bro. Hookah.
Let's go, guys. Sell the drink.
I have, yesterday, I was, I don't know what I was eating. It was like 11 o'clock. I was smoking a cigar, and the lady comes up to me. She's like, you always, like, smoke a cigar and, like, eat. And I'm like, yeah. I said, do you not see how much energy I have? And she said, yeah. I said, this shit something has to calm me down. You know, like something has to balance out the level. So I said, this is like a little bit of, you know, slowing it down, you know, this and, you know, I don't know what else, but yeah.
So technically, you can be successful, right? Be busy, and you can still enjoy your life because, like we make sacrifice in the way to be successful, right? But we cannot sacrifice doing the normal things while we're making money. That's basically what you said, right?
Yeah, I think, man, you know, some people have. Listen, I didn't grow up for money. I'm sure maybe you guys same scenario. I didn't have rich parents. My parents went from middle class to lower class after, and you know, I never even had the balls to ask my father for $5. Like I told my friends, I'm like, dude, I don't have the balls to ask my dad for $5 because I know I'm gonna get hit over the face. Okay, well, it's $5. You didn't cut the grass. You're asking me for money. So to me, I came from, it's like work, make money. I didn't come from a lot of money. So you kind of have this anxiety almost about money that you're like, I need to make money. And then you come to this point where you say, and then you're going to start overcompensating and working a lot, 16 hours a day. But then you have to come to a point of realization to say, okay, I can't let money rule me. I am more powerful than money, meaning I own this money. And when you start thinking about that, I'm going to be good. If I work my ass off, I have intentions and integrity and morals, I'm going to be good. So let me not sacrifice family, because that's the ultimate sacrifice. Some people think sacrifice is drugs, money, liquor, woman, and gambling. It's not. That's not a sacrifice. That's already something bad. Yep. So when somebody says, oh, you got to sacrifice to become successful. No, dumbass. Sacrificing alcohol is not a sacrifice.
Yep.
Drinking is already bad. You can't give. That's called, if you give that up, that means you just care about your future more. That's not a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when people are like, you got to sacrifice to become successful, elaborate. What do you mean? Because sacrificing going out on the weekends, that's not a sacrifice. That's already bad. Sacrificing you dating 45 women a month, if you're a guy and you're a cool guy, young, good looking guy, that's not a sacrifice. You're being a dumbass already. That's First of all, that's stressful. How do you even date 45 people at once? It's hard enough to have 45 clients. That's stressful, okay? Yeah. It's not cool. Some guys have like, 4 or 5 girls on the go. I'm like, dude, I've tried that and that's stressful. That is the hardest thing. Forget what gift to give somebody. I'm like, that's just stupid.
Yep.
All that stuff is already stupid, right? Giving that up just means you love yourself a little bit more. And there's a difference between sacrifice and self-love. I say most people become successful when they actually care about their future. You'll naturally give those things up. The hardest, I think, true sacrifice means to me, and you do need some sort of sacrifice sometimes inside a business. True sacrifice is not being able to spend a Christmas with your family because you're doing X, Y, Z in a different country. That's hard. Like not being able sometimes, for me, like we talked about this before, relationships. Mm-hmm. Relationships were difficult for me, like super difficult. And I always want an amazing relationship, you know, power couple. But it's hard because you have to have a person that can keep up with you around the world being a maniac 365 days out of the year. That's a sacrifice to be in the most beautiful place of the world and having to stare at Steve's fucking face. Steve, you're beautiful, bro. But like, it would be nicer that Steve can stare at his woman and I can stare at my woman.
Yeah.
Right? That's the sacrifice. Looking up at the stars and being like, me and Steve, like, dude, we have the most like nicest moments, but without the woman. Like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago we're in Positano, Italy. I'm like, man, this is like a freaking dream. We're waking up in the nicest places of the world. I'm like, the sacrifice is not having maybe this beside you. And I'm not saying that you can't have it all. You should and want it all. You know what I mean? You got to figure out how to get it all. So that's always my question, right? Like how to get it all. But that's the major sacrifice, not the negative things.
What money means to you?
Mental freedom. Because if you don't come from money, you're always thinking about money. meaning you don't have the mental freedom enough to have good conversations with people. You might have stress inside of your relationships. So you don't have that mental freedom. Because if you always need to pay your bill at the end of the month, that's all you can think about. So when your girlfriend or boyfriend tries to ask you something, you're very reactive and you're not responsive because you know you just have to pay the bill. If you get in a relationship, in the beginning it's, I love you so much. But then the bills come 30 to 60 days down the road and you don't have money. And now you're like, wow, babe, you changed so much. And maybe the guy or the girl's only thinking about, I just need to pay my bill right now. So you don't have that mental freedom, that mental real estate inside of your head. So to me, I think for me, money's just allowed me to have mental real estate to think and have good conversations and respond to people, you know, and not just freedom, physical freedom, but mental freedom inside of your head. Because it's difficult, man. Like, yeah, making money is difficult, but it's also difficult not having enough money towards the end of the month. And we've all been there. And that's hard. And it ruins relationships. It does. It ruins relationships with family and with boyfriend and girlfriend. So I tell people, like, make money not to ruin your current relationships. And teach your significant other about mental real estate. And I don't have mental real estate, babe, because I haven't made money. So all I'm thinking about is the bills and, like, how I can pay our stuff or whatever the case is, right?
I told my wife 2 days ago, it's very difficult to be rich. It's very difficult to run a company. It's very difficult to lead a team. But you know what's difficult? Not having money. And not having money to pay your bills, like you said. And
it's stressful.
Yeah, it's extremely stressful. So definitely choose your heart.
Yeah.
Now, to finalize, what success means to you?
Being a good person. I think that's the ultimate. That's all I think about every single morning when I wake up. Just be a good human. You know, like, I met a millionaire this morning. Okay, I'm on my way somewhere. I'm not gonna say the name. I know who he is. He knows who I am. I'm just going inside this place, and you know, I'm just, what's up, man? You know, puts his head down, and he like gives me like props like this, right? And I said, damn, that sucks. To have all this, and I know who he is and what he has. I said, to have all this and be like that, that's not successful. To me, that's not successful. I say, like, I always just try to be a good human and have, you know, and just have good faith. That to me, that's also having success, is having good faith, because like, this is just one part of our life, but there's eternity, you know, there's whatever you believe in. That's why I say, like, you know, being successful is having good and deep faith, because when you have good and deep faith, the moment you tap back into faith, you're always happy. Because you're always like, oh, it's going to be okay. I have good faith. Like, I trust in God, whatever. That's why it's important to have whatever you believe in, to have trust in a higher power than you, and have trust. I never talk about faith in God, but to me, that's important, because I knew when you're at your deepest moments inside of life, you're not alone. You know, you're like, this is nothing. This is meant to be. Like, I'm going to get pushed through this, right? There's a story once I heard, this guy, he didn't believe in God, and good guy, good ethics. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this. Then he goes to heaven. God's like, I accepted you here. He's like, you were a good man. You had good ethics, right? You had good morals. I know it was difficult for you to believe in me, he said, but you were just, you know, you were a solid and stand-up man. Why didn't you believe in me? Well, you know, he said, come here. He said, there was always 2 steps beside you, always 4 footsteps. Your 2 footsteps from the day you were born, and my 2 steps beside you. Look here, 2 steps and 2 footsteps, 2 footsteps and 2 footsteps. I was always beside you for your whole life, and you never believed in me. He said, yeah, I'm sorry, God. You know, I didn't believe in you. I guess you're right. And God was showing him all the 4 footsteps. He said, but God, look here. I lost all my money inside of my business, and I was super depressed, and I lost all my employees, and I was in a bad position. I was laying in bed for 6 months. Where were you then, God? I don't see the 4 footsteps. It's just my 2 footsteps. And God looks at him and he says, I was carrying you on my shoulders during those 6 months. He said, when you thought you were all alone, the reason why you got out of that is because I was carrying you on my shoulders. And that's why there was only 2 footsteps. And I say, sometimes you think you're alone, but you're being carried through whatever is difficult inside of life. And you think like, oh, I'm all alone, but there's a reason why you got out of it. And if you keep pushing, there was always something better around the corner. So I always think back to that story. I heard it when I was young. I'm like, dude, maybe I'm just being carried right now. You just keep pushing, and there's always something better around the corner. If you think when you got fired from your job, or your boyfriend and girlfriend left you, and that was the worst position inside of your life, you now look back and you would never go back to the job that you got fired from. You would never go back to the boyfriend or girlfriend that you dated in high school. There was always something better around the corner when you had faith that, let me just push forward, and boom, you would never go back. So I say, even if it's your worst month in business and you just keep pushing, and you don't know why you're pushing, but you just keep pushing, you know, if you're stuck in a valley and you didn't make sales, and I'm going to get practical again with sales. If you didn't make sales for like 3 months, and you're like, I'm stuck in this valley, you know logically, every single point of your life that was bad, you're like, if I just pushed through this, there was a better woman around the corner. I would never go date the ex or the girl or guy from high school. So what if I push through this inside of my business? Maybe there's $100,000 a month around the corner because it worked out for everything else. There's a better job around the corner. You would never go back to your other job. So if you push through this valley, there's always a peak around the corner. And knowing that there's always something better around the corner, that gets you more excited. If you get more excited, you close the deals 10 times faster. It's a game. It's like, how do I get more grateful? If I get more grateful, I get more enthusiastic. If I get more enthusiastic, I'll close the deals 10 times faster. So it's a mental game to get you, faithful and grateful quickly. People can't see the future, so they're never excited today. That's why the dream shit, when I'm always like, sell the dream, buy the dream. I said, if you lack energy and you look at me and you're like, how does this guy have energy like a kid? And I'm like, I'm a better dreamer than you, because if you have low energy, that means you're not excited for the future.
Right.
If you fucking love the future, you're going to be excited today. So if your energy levels are off, your vision's off. If you're in the beginning of a relationship, and I'm trying to make analogies for people to understand, like if you're in the beginning of the relationship exciting in the beginning. Why? You guys are like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You had a big vision. And then after, if the vision dies, the energy's low.
So true.
So the dream always has to be there. I'm like, okay, Daniel, redream. Buy another vision. Your energy's getting low. That means the future is not exciting. So your energy's low today. And even if you were to hit that goal, you wouldn't even yell or cry. So maybe get another goal that would make you yell or cry so you get excited like a baby again.
So powerful. And now you went back a little bit about sales. It is true about being grateful. You need to be grateful. And it's also true that a lot of people start in sales and they're excited. Oh, I have this opportunity. I'm going to crush it. And then over time, they fall off, right? What are the 3 common mistakes the salespeople make when they start this journey? Because this is, for me, sales and leadership is one of the toughest position in the whole industry. So what is the common mistake that people does at the beginning?
Number one, they don't put as much as respect on it as if they would like they had a job. So if a job, okay, let's say I hire you, and in the job it said sweep floors, greet everybody with a smile, and do another task. These are the 3 things that get you paid. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Hey, if you don't do it, you don't get paid. And by the way, the job starts at 8 a.m. If you show up at 8:02 a.m., 8:05 a.m., at 8:07 a.m., you're getting fired. You got 3 strikes, you're out. This is a job, right? I said the bare minimum inside of sales is first you got to respect it like you respected your job. You show up earlier. In a job, you don't take an hour and a half lunches. You take 30-minute lunches, you come back 35 minutes, you know you're going to get fired. So why in sales do you go out for a 2-hour lunch? You wouldn't be able to do it inside of a job. So just that, the respect, because it accepts people, man, to work for somebody like us. We don't want a huge CV and a huge resume. So you're accepting everybody almost. You're like, you got hunger, you got work ethic, you got talent, you're smart, you have some common sense, come in here. But the problem is the way people enter is the way they treat it. They didn't enter with a $60,000 salary, tuition, so they treat it like it's just another side hobby. They make it optional. They don't treat it seriously like a job and a career. I said, treat this like a job, and then you treat it like a career. First, you treat it like a job. Then number 2, then you treat it like a career. And I think when you treat it like a career, that's when you start studying, because then that's when you become the doctor. In the beginning, it's work, and then it becomes a career. And then you start to realize, oh, now the work is going to take me 50% there, and then the real mental, tactical, the skills is going to take me like that doctor that always keeps studying and treats it like a career. I think it's absurd for somebody to not train every single day, but a doctor will constantly train every single day. They'll always have a book in front of them. They've went to school for 20 years. So what makes you want to make doctor salary, but you've only trained once? Oh, I've done one of those seminars. You've done one? That means you've made money, but you don't make money. Even with you guys constantly, we were just talking about this, you constantly want to learn how to grow the business, right? Exactly. So how does it make sense if I'm making $5,000 a month and my leader's making $50,000 a month, and I see my leader at a seminar and that guy's at $50,000 a month and I'm only at $5,000 a month, how do you ever think you're going to beat that guy? It's impossible. You can't. You can't physically beat that person. So how do you think you're going to even catch up to him and he's already making 10 times more than you? That's why I always say it's like, and seminars and conferences and trainings, those are like time machines. You go in there and it's like you enter a time machine and you eliminate all your mistakes. It's like you're entering like I talked to somebody that's 60 years into this game, and I said, wow, this guy just put me through a time machine. I just didn't have to go through 20 years of mistakes.
Yep.
So it's work, mastering the skill. I think just treating it like a career is the main thing. Some people, they don't even treat it like a job. If you treated this like a medical career, you would win, because charisma plus that skill set and that work ethic and unlimited commissions, that's hard for a doctor to do. But in sales, if you work hard, you get better. You work hard, you get better. You work hard, you get better. There's no ceiling, and that's the beautiful part about sales. You can't cap out, and there's no like, hey guys, we're gonna stop you at $50,000 because you got too good or you worked too hard. You master the basics. That's the best salespeople. I like that you guys start off with this, are like the best athletes. The best athletes, if you watch soccer, if you watch baseball, or you watch football, the best athletes, I play soccer. There's only 5 to 10 ways to kick a ball. You can't kick a ball more than 5-10 different ways. You could kick it inside foot, outside foot curve. Like, okay, if you shoot a basketball, bro, there's only so many ways you could shoot a basketball. A hook shot, a straight, a jump shot. There's probably 5-10 different ways. So what's the difference between LeBron James and Steph Curry that get paid the most, and then the Harlem Globetrotters? The Harlem Globetrotters do trick shots. They could do a trick shot behind their back and put it. Those guys are tricksters. LeBron James and Steph Curry just mastered the basics better than anybody else in the world.
Right.
That's it. You go look at the people that are getting paid $50 to $100 million a year. Bro, they just mastered that jump shot the best. Like,
That's so true.
It's so crazy. You think of Messi, Ronaldo, the best players in the world. Dude, they don't do nothing fancy. Yeah, they have one fancy move, but there's a kid on the street that knows 100 million moves more than Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah. Literally, if you were to freestyle with Cristiano Ronaldo, it's nothing. There's a kid in the street of Brazil that knows 1 million better moves than Ronaldo. Ronaldo gets paid more. Why? His shot is perfect. The pass is perfect. The touch is perfect. He mastered the basics the best. And to me, that was always the thing. I'm like, ooh, sales isn't difficult, like you guys said. Master the 5 to 10 different things the best. The presentation, the conversation, the objections. Don't get all new. The broke people in life, you guys met these people. They always have a new idea. Oh, I'm going to do this, or a new business idea. And they're always doing these new business ideas. I'm like, dude, just master the first one. There are ideapreneurs, So I think that you want to become the best inside of sales. You pick the things that are most important inside of your industry. So you figure out what are the things that make me the most money, and you become best at those 80% of things that make you the most money. Like, figure out what it is. Is it getting somebody to book an appointment? How do I master that? Like, yeah, I book 3 out of 10 doors that open, but how the heck do I get 9 out of 10? How do I just do more and get better? More. That was Hermosi's thing, which I loved. He said the best business people do more of what works and get better at what works. And the brokest people always are in stage 3. It's more, better, and innovate. And he's like, the most broke people are always in stage 3. They always try to innovate. He said the most broke CEOs, broke sales reps. I said, that's true. You do more, you get better. You do more, you get better. Do more, get better. And then you innovate like once a year. Let's start a podcast. Let's do this. Let's start social media after you've already made $1 million a month or something.
So true.
Right?
So true. We said it so many times. They ask us how you can make 7 figures, $1 million in solar. Treat it as a job.
Yeah.
Treat it as a career.
Yeah.
Work your ass off. Train, develops every single day. And they don't want to hear the answer. They want to hear like you did something magical.
Yeah.
They want to every time I say that to people that don't know me, or they're just asking that question, I can tell they feel like disappointed. Like, I thought this guy was doing something magical, something unreal, that he's making that money. And it's actually not true. It's just the simple stuff.
Yeah.
The basic.
Repeated.
And repeated so many times.
And maybe we have like an extra energy there. Maybe we have like a little extra word there. But always talent and work ethic. And even though if you don't have talent, trust me, if you work hard, you're definitely going to get the talent up. 100%.
Correct. Yeah, it's going to come naturally.
It's going to come. And then, like you said, now you only closing 2%. And then out of nowhere, 5%. And then like next month, okay, I'm 10% now. And then you do the same thing a year from now, and you closing sometimes, some weeks, I know for sure in your back in your days, you're closing people at 100%.
Yeah.
We have weeks of closing at 100%, which is crazy. And then some people say it's luck, but in reality, they don't see the work that you did in the past that took you to be at this level that you are right now.
Yeah.
So I have a question, because talking about a lot of sales and building a business. But let's talk about a little bit of leadership. So I'm a leader in any sales industry. How can I motivate a beginner or a pro in sales? How I can get that fire going every single day?
First thing, I say this, and it might be cliche, but if money doesn't motivate somebody inside of sales, they shouldn't be in sales. Like that's the biggest thing. If money is not the motivation, sales is not right for you. And I know so many people try to do so many different tactics, but it's like, I tell my sales reps, here's your best exercise to do. You cut the compensation plan. So write out like whatever the commission you can make, right? What's the top you think you can make? Okay, write it out. Draw out the compensation plan. If your company doesn't give it to you, just draw out your own. Like what you can make at this point if you're closing this many deals, right? You draw out your compensation plan in the next year, what you can make, your vision, your map. And then you take it, you cut it. And you literally glue it to your ceiling. You put it on your girlfriend or your boyfriend's head and you kiss them more because it's so beautiful. You get addicted with the money that you can make. Because if not, then you're going to get swept by a bad day or a bad month because money doesn't motivate you. And sales is to generate unlimited commissions and income. And I tell people, I say, if money doesn't motivate you, then this is not a good job to get into. This is definitely not a good job to get into.
And what do you think about those people that said, oh, I want freedom and all that stuff?
Yeah, good how? First, you got to make money, and then you got to teach somebody else how to make money. Freedom comes from two things. And I hope future leaders can listen. People and systems. So first you got to make money because nobody will ever listen to you if you don't make money.
Leading by example.
So,
right?
Yeah, like everybody wants to be this leader. It's like, okay, like Daniel, I want to be a speaker. Go make the most in your industry. You earn the mic. You know what I mean? Like you want to be a speaker. Go train your company. But you can't train your company because nobody's going to listen to you inside of your company because you don't make money inside of your company. I'm not a speaker. I was a trainer at 15 years old. Why? I made the most commissions since I was 15. So my company just said, bro, here's the whiteboard. Go train these people on how you did it. Like, what were you saying? My company wouldn't even know. So I'd go on the whiteboard and I became a speaker because when you make the most, you got to become a speaker. So you earn your leadership position. And then when people say, well, I just want to, I want to be a leader. I want to have freedom. Okay, so there's 3 steps. You make money. If it's sales or it's business, then people listen to you. You teach that person how to make money, right? Yeah. And then you have systems. Then you have systems to work those people because that freedom is people and systems. It's not just money. Money is I'm going to listen to that guy. That's all it is. It's like if we're trying to lose weight, you want to listen to the most fit person. It's very hard for me to listen to somebody that, those trainers and they're not that fit and you're like, I can't really listen to that guy, right? But we can listen to people that are super fit. You're like, I can listen to that guy. He makes sense. I don't know if he says do this, I do it, right? So it's the same thing. It's like, that's what money's there for. That's why we were talking about like the cars and stuff and the watch. They'll listen to you. Oh, he makes money. So you got to have that in order for people to even grab their attention. And then, then people, and always think I think the goal is always to think about the people after being like, how many people can I get selling this? So if I start day one inside of your organization, the only thing I want to know that I'm in the right place. And the right place indicates this. Hey, Steve, yeah. Dude, I'm going to crush it in sales. Is there an ability for me to grow out my own team under your organization? Yes. Okay, I'm in the right spot. If there's not, I'm in the wrong spot. Like, dude, is there a way where I can manage and bring people in when I'm the best? Yes. Okay, I'm in the right spot. Hey, dude, I don't live here in the Jersey area. I actually live in Washington. I moved down here for a job, but when I start smashing it here, can I go back to Washington and open up my own under you guys? Yeah. Okay, I'm in the right spot. Why? Because that's your end goal. Your end goal is to get people to do the job better than you could do the job.
Yep.
So that's where you have to pick, like what you guys are doing. It's making sure people pick the right vehicles so they have the ability to have freedom, and freedom doesn't mean money. It's to have people making money, and then you can smoke a cigar because somebody else is making the sale. That's the most important thing. Like for you guys, exactly what you're doing. It's like, if I'm going into a company, I want to partner up with somebody like you guys because it's like, oh, I can use your assets, your work, your systems, and I can open up in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, that's important for me. So I know when I become the top closer, I have the freedom to go open up a company and use you guys. So many people, better use of language, it's people are stupid because everybody wants to create a company. And you don't want to. The fastest way to $1 million is not to create a company. It's to use a company and beat up a company and beat up their systems and then make your quick $1 million. Some people are like, I'm going to make $1 million fast. Oh, no, you're not, because there's something called payroll, legal, accounting, this, that, stress, employees, hiring. That's not $1 million fast. You want to make $1 million fast, you go work for a company. That's how you make your quickest $1 million, because that company has to reinvest. So to me, I want the fastest way to $1 million if I'm starting is get inside of a company like your guys, be the best number one, 12 months, be the best, top of the leaderboards.
You're the best.
Then take it after I am the best. Then say, guys, I want to open up in Washington, or I want to open up in DC. And then I go take all your company assets, your systems, training, legal, partnerships, and I just play hire, recruiter, scaler, and leader.
So technically, it's the vision, basically. If the company has the vision, you will follow. In
Correct.
Other words.
Yes.
And I have the final question of the podcast. If you will lose it all right now, in 2024, what will you do?
I'd wash windows. Like, people are watching this. You know, you go online and somebody's like, I have this automation sales course and this. Bro, I fucking grab. This is exactly what I do. I tell my guys this. I go on live streams. I say this. I'm like, you guys are broke? Okay, let's look at humans right now. Humans are lazy, right? Like millennials. I'm going to speak for us. Dude, we don't, if something breaks inside of the house, we don't want to fix the pipe. We don't want to fix the electricity. We call somebody on an app and it's like, hey, the electrician's coming over, babe, right? Okay, 20 years ago, my dad built the whole basement, and my dad's not a contractor, but he built the basement with his hands. He's going to figure it out with my grandfather. They're going to build the basement. If a light bulb breaks, they're going to even become a little electrician. You cut your own grass, you do your trimming, you do your flowers, you do everything. And millennials these days don't want to do any of that. I want somebody to come to, when I was in Dubai, they come, you press app in Dubai, they come gas up your car.
Crazy.
They come to you and they gas up your car. You don't want to move. Like my friend's like, dude, you guys gas up your car in America. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, bro, check this out. Download this app. Tell them your car make. They come with the right fuel and they gas it up. You don't move.
That's crazy.
And I said, huh. I said, cool. So when
Let's
I
make
said
that company here.
yeah, and that has to be here in the next year. Like, but it's then you think you're like, what would you do if you went broke? I'd say, well, I would just take advantage of people like us that are fucking lazy to do these things that we used to do alone. So that's how you make money. So what does that mean? When I said wash windows or cut grass, I would go paint, wash windows or cut grass and just knock on the door and be like, dude, you're cool, nice car, blah, 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 but you don't want to cut your grass. Nobody wants to do it anymore. So I can literally build a grass cutting agency, a window agency, a pest agency, a painting agency just from knocking on doors and asking to do the things that the basics used to be done before, but they're not done now. And then I learned how to do it, and then I just go hire. And I don't even have to be good at it, to be honest with you. I could just go find 5 workers that paint and then figure out shit that people don't want to do. So when I said wash windows, I really mean it's that easy. I know people that are washing windows that are making $30,000 a month that are kids because they have one guy washing windows and they're just knocking on doors or whatever the case is. I know people making $20,000 to $50,000 a month just doing lawn care services right now because millennials don't want to do it. So I'd really get into something where it's physical labor. I might have to do it, or I can outsource somebody to do the physical labor. I just got to do the selling part, right?
Yes.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
And then you learn that, and then you can just keep going up. Then I can get into something higher ticket, solar. I can get into something roofing, whatever, higher ticket. But keep it basic. You know, there's this 16-year-old kid on my live stream yesterday. And I just said, he's like, well, how do I make money? I said, dude, you'll beat all these fake entrepreneurs on my live right now watching just by going and knock on doors and scrubbing their car. Like if a kid came to me this morning before I went to go get a car wash and he knocked on my door and it's like, can I wash your car? I'd be like, yeah, fuck, dude, don't scratch it. But here's the right sponge. Go wash it. Go clean it with the water inside. Blah. I'd give the kid $50 because I don't want to do it. But actually, like 8 to 10 years ago, I'd wash my own car. I'd be happy in the driveway showing off, washing the car. So I would do the same shit, just take advantage of lazy work ethic.
Basically going basics and going door to door. So it is a pleasure.
Thank you guys for
my
having
brother,
me.
for myself to be here.
And thank you guys for the gift. I appreciate it.
Yes, it's just a little gift for you can enjoy it. And like I say, it's a pleasure.
I will not smoke these unless we smoke these, by the way.
Of course.
So
you want to wrap it up the podcast? we can do it. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, I won't smoke them unless we smoke them.
No, we're gonna smoke it together.
Okay.
Definitely. So like I said, it's a pleasure. Thank you
guys
for coming here. This is not transactional. When you do things like this that you really mean it, you want to make connection, that's the most important part. So I really appreciate it, the whole team.
I appreciate it.
And my brother, thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for having me.
That's the best.
I'll be
Pretty
right
boy,
back.
daddy boy,
Thank
baby.
you, brother.
Thank you,
Let's
brother.
go.
Thank you.